Hi guys, it's AJ here with a best class setup, and actually my first best class setup for the AK12. Now the AK12 is a great gun. The best variants for this gun they can get in supply drops is the AK12 RIP. In my opinion, haven't got it, but this is the base standard AK12, and I hope you enjoy this best class setup. If you do, leave a like. So first of all, we're going to start with attachments. Now for the first attachments, I will probably use the AK. No, I won't use the AK. I'll use the quick draw grip because this gun has slow rate of fire for an assault rifle, so when you're coming into contact with submachine guns, you have to ADS really quickly, and quick draw grip allows you to ADS really quickly to get that first shot on and possibly beat out the submachine gun or whatever is coming against you. So quick draw grip is a very useful perk. Now moving on to the second attachment, I like to use stock so that you can ADS around corners. Like I said, this gun has low fire rate, so you need to be able to ADS around corners so you can get that first shot on to your enemy. Now for the third attachment, I personally like to use either foregrip because you're able to keep it accurate, or red dot sight or ACOG sight, or the other sights, because the sight on this is not like the Call of Duty Ghost one where it's a half circle, this one's a full circle, so it can block off at longer distances. So personally, or I'll just use the dual mag. Maybe the dual mag can be useful, but ACOG sight, whatever sight you really need, personally, whatever your preference is the one I would probably pick on sights. Or just go for the foregrip or extended mags, that can be quite useful. But I'll maybe go for the dual magazine reload quicker. It's quite useful. Now moving on to secondary, I don't really use a secondary, but if you're going to use one, I'll use the R1W. It's an alright pistol snap in your hand. Perk 1, I use lightweight. Lightweight is really good, moves around the map quicker, or low profile. I don't really like using flak jacket. Overcharge is useless, and danger close in my opinion is quite useless. So for the second perk, I personally like to use peripherals. It's a very good perk, lets your minimap be bigger, because I personally think that advanced warfare minimaps are quite small, or fast hands, so you can reload quicker and switch weapons quicker. That's my personal opinion, but peripherals better. Now with the third perk, I like to use hardline and blast suppressor. Well, a lot of people like to use toughness and scavenger. If you do like that, it's really up to you, but personally I don't feel like toughness is that important, so I use hardline and blast suppressor. Now for the because people like to use scavenger, people really do like to use scavenger or toughness, so if that's you, use toughness, but I personally just like to use blast suppressor and hardline. Now for extra ability, I don't really like to use extra abilities, but if you were going to, I'll use extra overclock so you can run faster and stuff like that. If you aren't going to use extra overclock, I'll use extra stim, so that if you're capping a flag, it will give you extra health, so maybe you'll be able to last on the flag a bit longer. That could save your life. Very useful indeed. But usually I don't really use any of the extra abilities. I don't feel that they're useful. You know, you can use any of them: hover, ping, shield, whatever. Now for extra launchers, I don't really use them, but if you were going to, I just use frag, maybe semtex, tracking drone, spike drone, or explosive drone. Smoke grenade, I don't really feel it's useful. Variable grenade, I did think it was going to be really good when I first heard about it, but it's not useful. You have no lethal grenades on it. I don't feel it's very useful. They do look cool though. All of the grenades do look cool. So for score streaks, we're not using the recon drone, that is crap. We will be using the UAV. Now I personally like to put threat detection on and enemy detection. If you don't want to put that on, maybe use scrambler, but personally I like to use threat detection and enemy detection. If you weren't going to use that, maybe use orbital or speed, or maybe extra assist points or extra time, whatever you really need. But personally what I like to use is extra is threat detection and enemy detection. Now for second perk, I like to use either any of these will do, but I like the bombing run. If you're going to use the bombing run, I wouldn't put any modules onto it. I feel it's perfect on its own. You don't really need to add anything onto it. If you're going to, maybe put on there's really nothing you can put on, but system hack, that's also a really good one to put on. I put on disable exosuits so that you're able to make the exosuits obviously go off, and you could be double jumping and use that to your advantage. Now if you're going to use missile strike, I would use nanoswarm on a certain place, like I'll put on a flag or on a hard point, so that the enemy team won't be able to get onto it because it has a nanoswarm onto it, and if they get into this nanoswarm, they will be harmed. If you're not going to use that, probably extra missiles or hellfire missiles or cluster missiles, that could be very useful indeed. If you're not going to be using that, I love the aerial assault drone, and personally what I feel is the best for the aerial assault drone is the AI controlled with rockets, because I feel like those are the best modules for it. AI controlled and rockets are the only modules that I think that this really needs. You could swap out AI controlled for something else, but personally I feel like that's the best. Or you could swap out rockets for machine guns, but I don't really feel like that's really needed. I mean, rockets has a bigger blast radius, so if it's aiming for one guy and someone's next to it, it'll be able to kill both of them. So rockets and AI control is probably what I feel is better. You could take off AI control to control it yourself if that's what you're into, but personally I prefer letting my score streaks do their own thing without me controlling them and still getting me a butt ton of kills. Now for the 4 score streaks, you can use really any of them if you want. Care package, warbird. If you're going to use warbird, I'll put on aggressor and rockets. You use anything, maybe even put the paladin on. I don't really feel that the paladin is useful, but if you're going to use it, put on sleight of hand and extra time, so that it doesn't reload like 24/7, and you're able to use that. Now this is the best class setup for the AK12. I really do hope you enjoy. If you do, please hit that like button, subscribe, and leave a comment. Tell me what you feel of it, if I should continue. And I really do hope you enjoy, and I hope you enjoy this blast cut setup. If you find it useful, let me know.